asalaamaaleykum askan bi ñu nuyuwaat leen fii ci Star TV seen programme bi Traffic Talk man la seen doom yi Ndeye Kawsu Badji as usual the host of the program. Last week jotoon nañoo waxtaan key important issues about traffic xool nañ li nga xamante ne moom mooy jaar-jaar li nga xam ne moom mooy nit ñi si wàllu dem ak dikk bi bu also we looked at li nga xamante ne moom mooy the key safety components. Today ci biir programme bi dinañ waxtaanee li nga xamante ne moom mooy duñ gën a xamee si tuk-tuk ou bajka bu officially known as tricycles. Gis nañ ko léegi ni ñu bari ci li nga xamante ne moom mooy the commercial sector but mainly for the movement of people. Earlier we know them for the movement of goods but léegi ñu ngi leen convert li nga xamante ne moom mooy passenger vehicles. It is important but what are the safety protocols? What needs to be done? What can we do? In the studio I'm joined by Dr. Gassama, as usual road safety expert, by Mr. Bah Aliu, Front Star Driving School, but also the youth Honorable Nyang from the National Youth Parliament of the Gambia. Later in the show, we'll be joined by a representative from the National Roads Authority. So first, you start at Kinga Hamantene Momoy Honorable Youth Honorable Nyang, ñu bàyyi la nga nuyu ci Traffic Talk.
Jërëjëf Kawsu jërëjëf ñu ñëpp ñu nekk di seetaan si waxtu bii nii man la Omar Niang from the National Youth Parliament te nag waxtaan bi dina am solo trop si affaire tuk-tuk la jërë ngeen jëf.
Indeed after boobu tamit dinañ dalal ki nga xamante ne moom mooy Mr. Bah Aliu from the Front Star Driving School comme ni ma ko dee waxee saa yu nekk Mr. Bah mu ngi jógee ko fi nga xamante ne moom mooy Front Star bu programme bi tamit ñu ko dooleel mooy Front Star Driving School kon Mr. Bah dalal jàmm.
jërëjëf Kawfu maa ngi laa nuyu bu baax a baax di nuyu docteur Gassama di nuyu Omar ñoom ñu nga xamante ne bokk nañ plateforme bi di nuyu seetaatkat yi yëpp foo munti nekk ñu ngi laa dalalal si programme bi tey si Star TV and Star Radio nga waxal nañ gën a toog taataax lu déglu ñu gën a xuus si programme bi si tomb yu nga xamante ne dinañ ko indi tey.
Indeed Dr. Gassama road safety expert nge jiya programme moto bayri nga lonne ko nanata ni mi yalon ko wodon tanna la karola sako mi yalon ko wolom al tanko keta mo mi yalon ko yekku jamale kataji woto be jiya la nyim programme wala donc na Dr. Gassama jiya Dr. Gassama ko la benna luntan du fanan dundila mi mbota nak National Road Authority Dr. Gassama
baraka Kawsu ñin karo ko mar me badum be men kan jibe men be la moy kam be konton na be jayla be tentula ele jibero ani la moy ko nyuma kacala bunda no majam mi ala ko mata bag woto ko alsin so asin hakilola ala fana la moy la baraka
kon léegi li ñoo def rek dañoo dem jëli benn short video interview ñu njëkkee ko si boobu noonu gannaaw boobu ñu dugal si biir kër gi fekk tamit suñ gan bi ñëw na toog ñu dalal ko kon control room dinañ ñu jàllale li nga xamante ne moom mooy video interview boobu ñu déglu di public opinion about li nga xamante ne moom mooy tuk-tuk den ñu dugal suñ gan bi control room.
I just saw you having some issues with the police here and then he collect your key. What's really the problem?
Well, concerning about the problem about this batch car, because they say for license, you understand, because some of them they have license, some of them they don't have license, you understand. And because from last week Thursday I travel, I go back there. So Friday I come, when I come, I hear this rumor said, no foreigner cannot ride batch car. Even you have a license, you have all your documents, you cannot ride a batch car. I say, what is the problem? Why do they say that? You understand? So my friend tell me that, say, my man, I don't understand. I say, okay, no problem. Since last week to this week, they catch on many batch car. I even have one of my friend, when they catch his batch car, he go and pay $2,000, they give her receipts, but they don't give her the batch car. They say, unless he bring $15,000. And it's only this batch car which some of we are surviving. You understand? It's this true batch car we are paying our rent house, pay for our permit. Some of us, we have family, take care of ourselves, you understand. So now they say no foreigner cannot ride a batch car without, we don't know what is the problem, what is the reason. So I'm so really confused with that. And if we don't ride batch car, where are we going to survive? Nowhere. We don't have any place to survive, you understand. And every month, like for me, the place where I stay is 3,000 for months I used to pay. I used to pay 3,000 for months. And every year, we used to pay permits. So now if they stop us to say no foreigner cannot ride a batch car, so how are we going to buy a permit? How are we going to pay for our rent charge? How are we going to pay for our light bill, water bill, all this kind of thing, you understand? So I'm so really confused about that. But some of us yesterday, we go to our embassy, we go and complain about that. So we discuss about that. They say, okay, they will find time so that they will call a meeting to discuss with them what is the problem. So because as for me, I'm so really confused. You understand? Without this batch car, I don't have any other job to do.
What are some of the challenges you face on the road?
Well, the challenges I face on the road is too much. You understand? The pressure is too much. You understand? Because the only thing in our country, the only thing I know about this traffic officer, you understand, is the only people that can hold bike if you don't have license or documents. But in Gambia here, KMC officer used to hold us, our batch car, for license, ask us for license, ask us for permits. So when they used to say that, I was surprised. I said, me, the only thing I know about is traffic officer supposed to ask us for license and for bike documents. I said, now KMC asks us for permits. Even this immigration officer, they used to catch us, ask us for driving license, which of course they are not their job. We only know them for permits. So I'm so really confused about that. So the pressure is too much. You understand? Sometimes if you park safe good properly, some just police will come and remove your key for no good reason. You say because of you are a foreigner. If you want to say that, say, hey, don't say anything. This is our country. The Gambia is for Gambia. You people are foreigner. If you know that Gambia is not okay for you, go back to your country. You know, so all those kind of things is not good. You understand? Because of all of us, we are one. You understand? We need to help each other. So you see, the pressure is too much through from this batch car. It's too much. You understand?
I think these tricycles are a safe and reliable mode of transportation in the country. Yeah.
Well, as for me, yes. You understand? Yes, because it's going to help the people, the market people, you understand? Because when this batch car don't come first in the Gambia, you know, all these taxi drivers, they used to park, wait for town trip, you understand? So now when this batch car come in the Gambia now, people say, it's better now, the transportation is better. You understand? Because yesterday I don't work, even the place where I stayed, people started to come and say, what these police people that are doing is not good. It's not good. Now we are suffering for transport. I say maybe that one your family need for you guys to say no foreigner can ride. You understand? A batch car. Even when you used to ride at night, even some the Gambia boys, they used to rob us at night. They will break it, say, hey, I need a town trip. When you take the town trip, they will not pay your money. And the money you work all of that night, they will still collect it. And later time, they will start to fight to collect everything from me. If that one happened with me, collect my phone, I lost my permit, I lost the money I worked the rest of the day, all they collect it.
Okay, so concerning the robbery, where did it happen and how?
The place happened at this place, Shantaba. You understand? Because that time is Saturday night. You know, when they say Saturday, they used to go to club. So after club, when they want to go home, the boys, they break me. They say they need town trip. There are 5. I said, okay, you guys need town trip. They say, yes. I said, but you guys is too much. I said, if it's 4, I will carry. They say, no, we'll carry the one on top of our leg. I said, okay, no problem. So I carried it. When I reach out the place, I asked for the money. They said, they don't have money. They say, I am the one who's supposed to give them money. I said, like, how? I said, I bring you guys town trip. I said, is you guys supposed to give me money? I said, I am not the one who's supposed to put my money, give me. They say, hey, boy, don't say anything, you're nyak. I said, yeah, I know that I'm a foreigner. I said, but that don't mean that if I bring you town trip, you want to seize advantage on me. So the one started to slap me, collect my phone, collect my bag.
Indeed, welcome back after that public opinion. Like we said, it is an interview that we did outside once the topic is about Bachka. But before we go further, bara ñu gëna host ci waxtaan bi dinañ dalal suñu benen gan bi jógee ko fi nga xamantene mom moy di transport union dalal nañ la jamm.
waaw jërëjëf Kawsu maa ngi la nuyu bu baax di leen gërëm di leen sant di jégalu suñu leet comment bi waaye alhamdulillah man maa ngi tudd Noha Jabi jógee ko transport union and second vice president of general transport union.
Jërëjëf Mr. Jabi. Mr. Gassama, first about tricycle, bachka or tuk-tuk as often called in the Gambia. Safety protocols internationally, is it something that can be used for the transportation of passengers, and how safe it is, but also a comparative study with the Gambian condition? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I think this is very interesting, and the whole, climate is changing. It's changing because there are new technologies. Now, we never used to have this tuk-tuk or bachka or whatever. They were never existing. But now they are existing because of technology and because of our context. Now, if you want to see these things, go to Southeast Asia. India is the one leading the whole world in this. They produce more of this than any other, country. So, yes, it's a means of transport. But there is a big but. We have to be careful. These vehicles are made in a way that if you are not extraordinarily careful, you can make mistakes and you can cause disaster. Number one, there either is two-wheeler or three-wheeler, but now because of three-wheeler, this tuk-tuk is a three-wheeler. Some people call it three-wheelers, whatever. But majority of the international literature is the three-wheeler vehicle. Yeah. So that three-wheeler, what is this three-wheeler? What are the safety issues surrounding these three-wheelers? It needs to be very much understood. One, if you look at it holistically, there are 4 areas that you have to think about with this tuk-tuk or bachka.
Yes.
The first risk factor goes around the road environment itself. That road environment versus the tuk-tuk or the bachka. The road environment, I will unpack that. I will explain more on that later. That's number one. If you want to unpack the risk factors surrounding the use of this bachka. So we look at first the road environment. Now, that road environment, what do you think? What do you mean? We need to really make sure that that vehicle that is, being driven, which is the motor vehicle, which is the tuk-tuk, you need to be careful. The road should be in a way that is, accommodating to that three-wheeler. Because the condition of the road is also very important. For example, slippery, if the road is slippery.
Yeah.
If you are struggling with four-wheelers and you are afraid of four-wheelers, that you will slip if there is, the road is slippery. What about three-wheelers? We have a problem. So road condition is very important. And again, about road conditions, these vehicles are designed in a way that they can be hazardous. They can have problems. At research, overwhelming research says the main problem with road design for this tuk-tuk is the bend. They don't like bends. Where they have a lot of accidents, these are roads with a lot of curves and a lot of bends, because the stability of the car the vehicle becomes problematic when you are going around turns, when you are going around curves, corners. Is very dangerous, and that's where overwhelmingly. So one needs to. I don't know whether these people who drive them, they understand this very well, but they need to be very careful. So about that road condition is there. We need to build roads that certainly, they should be, in some countries, research is saying that if you divide the roads, in fact, road systems should be such that you have to accommodate all road users. So some of these things are becoming new road users. Do we have our road designed for them? No. Are they catered for? No. So this is the problem. And that's why a lot of collision will come, because our roads are not designed to accommodate them. So that's why the road network is very important. And the transport system also is very important. What about the vehicle itself? The vehicle itself, the motor vehicle is very, very important.
Like you said, it's a three-wheeler.
It's a three-wheeler.
So the stability, balance itself.
And that stability is, in fact, when you look at it, I'm not an engineer, mechanical engineer, but this thing about science surrounding this vehicle is that stability becomes compromised as a result of pressure on the brake. I don't know how do they brake. If you apply too much acceleration, too much pressure on your brakes, that can reduce stability of this vehicle.
Because one thing,
and the speed also is very important. The speed also of this vehicle is also very important. If you increase the speed, the stability also is compromised. So you can imagine these risk factors. So how can these people fly on the road? Do they understand?
That is the other thing that where we want us to look into. When it comes to safety, how trained are the drivers?
Yeah.
Front Star will come into the training component. But like your observation, how trained are they? Because I haven't heard of any driving school. I haven't heard of any local training mechanisms where people are trained on the use of tricycles. So most of the time, people that can ride motorbikes will just jump into riding motorbikes or tricycles. And a motorbike is designed to carry a passenger and a rider. But with this, it is designed to carry 3 other people. In fact, sometimes 4. We have had in the interview where he said 5.
Right.
So load is also another thing.
Yeah.
Can all do any of those things contribute to the risk attached to road?
Certainly, because like I said, speed is a killer, and these people, they speed, and once you speed, all those things, that when there is a collision, the weight increases, because speed, if you look at the speed science, that's what speed scientists say. Now your weight, that, and if how many people, 4 or 5 people, each weighing, for example, 20 kilo, 50 kilo, they become more than their weight, 20 times their weight. So how can you imagine, when you are driving very fast? So it is very important. I don't know how trained they are, because these are new things that we are seeing in our country. I'm sure the driving school, they will answer that question. Maybe they can also, if it is not in their curriculum, they should also be really training, because they are all, they are all important.
Absolutely.
All road users are important. So for me, what is important here is they need to be trained, because sometimes they don't understand that once you are trained, you'll be able to know the risk factors. You'll be able to know how to handle it, because this is very risky. The vehicle itself, look at it. Is there any safety feature there? There's no safety feature.
Absolutely.
3-wheelers, when somebody, if we make a mistake, you can just also, and then they don't have any seat belt there. Is there any seat belt? No seat belt.
There is no seat
So
belt.
you are the master. There is no airbag, nothing. So once there is a crash, there is a problem. And usually they have problems when there is a crash. They will have not only their head, but also the neck and the chest. This is where the lower limb is their problem. And also second to that, of course, the head is number 1, the lower limb. So most of the time they have problems, because these are the one that are exposed.
Absolutely.
So it's very, very dangerous.
Indeed. It's also said by many that it's very comfortable because air can enter anywhere. I know as a resource, to me, I said that makes it more risky. It means in case of a maneuver, a person can fall out of it, because it has doors, but sometimes they open it for ventilation. But we will now get to the youth part of it. It is creating employment opportunity for young people. A good number of people will tell you young people are unemployed or underemployed. This is one employment opportunity. As a representative of the National Youth Parliament, how would you look at this? I know it is creating employment opportunities. However, there are risky factors, more specifically from passengers to even the all users, even road users. Sometimes also, like some of the people would say in the interview, the overspeed, exposing even people that are road users to risk. Honorable.
Yes, thank you very much, Kausu. Very timely topic. I have even discussed this outside the office with a lot of people regarding these tricyclists, because fine, it is creating employment for young people, and we've been seeing a lot of young people engaged. Let's say 75% or even 80% of people that are operating the tricyclists are all between the age of 15 and 35. Let's say above 18 and 35. But again, one thing that is also certain is the lack of experience in operating this machine among young people, and the manner in which we operate it is sometimes very, very sad, because we disregard the procedures of road safety. Sometimes you see them racing with four-wheel cars, and that's very risky. So for us as a parliament, as an institution, what we will recommend is to make sure that there is a proper training mechanism put in place to make sure that young people that are in this are trained, and of course are guided with laws and orders, because at the end of the day, we don't want to, let's say young people are involved, let's say, but of course we don't also want our young people are of course going astray in operating these tricycles is something that we all have to consider, because as Doc said, this is a new innovation. The world is moving, and some of these transporting systems will of course imagine somewhere, and then for people to make transport easier for people. Some might be very comfortable in using this than using even the normal taxis.
Absolutely.
Some will say that. Absolutely. Again, for me, as an advocate, we will not say it's a wrong idea having this tricycle, but of course we also need to put in place to make sure that there are procedures and processes in which we use this. Otherwise, we will of course continue to complain. The taxi drivers will of course be saying the tricyclists are disturbing their business in somewhere, some around that area. But of course, young people are involved in this, and we will advocate for government, of course, to come up with measures to make sure that there are safety mechanisms put in place. And then of course the law should also be very rigid in terms of implementation. Because the maximum they should carry is 3. Absolutely. But sometimes you see them carrying 4, as the video they said they can of course carry 5, which is definitely not right, because once you're involved in accident, as Doc says, your lower limbs can be affected seriously. So the law should be applied. And as for the video, it's a young person from another country saying that they are not allowed to operate this, but again, this is what the access,
it is considered a commercial vehicle.
Exactly.
And by nature of our laws, non-Gambians are not allowed to drive commercial vehicles.
Exactly.
But also, this is also an amendment due to so many risk factors. Because sometimes what will happen is, when people who are non-Gambians, when serious fatalities occur, they tend to avoid. And once they run away, the people that bail them are responsible, and most of the time these are Gambians.
Yeah,
so why would you expose your own people to risk when they can drive recklessly, expose others to dangers and run away?
Yeah, I think the whole idea is also to make sure that at least these are law, and then this is something that we will definitely protect, because those that are also using this are also of course our Gambian people. So I think the part of the other problem is because we don't trust our people too much in giving them these responsibilities. There are people that prefer to give this business to foreigners than giving it to Gambians. I think this is where the mistake is. Sometimes they will blame the Gambians, the young people are a bit lazy, of course are not being ready, but of course that's a very bad misconception.
Engagement that we did prior to taking this video also indicate also another form of suppression, because you give people tricycles or motorbikes or tuk-tuk, and you give them a condition that every day they should give you a deposit of $1,000, or you call them versema. This is something that average Gambians will not take, because the truth is, I'm not going to be on the street to expose myself to extreme detriment of risk when you are seated in your comfort zone with your family for me to give you $1,000 a day.
Okay, let me come in. I think there was also of course a discussion that I had with somebody. We said that the person said, okay, he will be able to, let's say, if he will be able to put in $1,000 every day, but another, you see, a Fritonian guy said, okay, for me I'll be able to give you 1,300, and the guy gave it to the Fritonian guy. I think this is sometimes areas that we need to maneuver around and look at critically.
Yeah, because normal commercial vehicles, like what we call taxi fee in the Gambia, mainly their versema is between 500 to 700, and these vehicles that are designed to carry 4 people. Now you are giving me something that is designed to carry 3 people, and you are giving me a higher returns, expecting a higher returns than this. Safety wise, a commercial vehicle, a taxi vehicle rather, have almost is expected to have more safety features than a tuk-tuk. So these are issues that are extortion.
I think part of the reason why even these accidents within these tricycles,
the reckless riding,
this because they are placed at a peg that you have to bring this. So they also want to make sure that they're able to go back and forth several times to be able to put in $1,000 and a lot of money again for their own pocket. So I think this is where
the representative of the transport union, because this is also another form of transport, but that will be after the Front Star Driving School. Ali, last week Saturday, Front Star Driving School has actually created another momentum in the Gambia, graduating a good number of students. As sponsors, we were supposed to be there. Unfortunately, there was miscommunication, but which we have taken full responsibility of. We will allow you to talk about this, but we will want to briefly, how was the graduation? How many students did you graduate? and then whether you are adding the riding, tricycles, navigation, traffic, part of your curriculum.
Thank you very much, Kaushu, and thank you very much to each and everyone on this platform. I think, as you said, last week Saturday, we graduated over 50 students who have underwent their examinations or the tests that you need to go through so that you will be recommended to have a lancing. One of the tests was visibility, your visual, whether you're actually able to drive, because some of them need recommendations. Some of them and other people cannot drive at night. So all of these things we need to check in which category do you belong to. And the other one, they are tested on the practical sides where you are tested on parallel parking, reverse parking, and so on. And going back to the theory, which was talking about road signs and safety measures that one individual need to know to make sure that all of these components of the test will make you to be a professional driver. As we are saying, Frontstar is not just training an individual just to acquire lancing. We are trying to give them the best of services and to make them professional drivers so that they will also contribute in road safety. Because it is very important. We have a lot of driving schools, but how best we are going to improve the standard is more important. You understand? To improve the standard, to make sure that we give the Gambian the best of services by training them and testing their capabilities. Because I cannot just train you for a certain period of time and say, now you can go and give your lancing. No. Because we are saying that if you are not capable, you should not be given a lancing. So it's not only about Frontstar driving. This should be a national trend that we should all follow. That even to acquire lancing, you need to make sure that you are capable of. You're physically fit, mentally ready to make sure that you pass through all those procedures. And that's why we are on the market, and we believe that we will continue to do our best by giving the Gambians the best of services. As I tell you that we even include some of these in our curriculum, that is having safety part of our school curriculum. Now we are talking of something that is very important. We are talking of the tricycles, where we have seen some of these areas in the Gambia. So many people are using it, and as Omar said, it is serving as a source of employment to other youths and also harming other people. But the most important thing, we have to look at this thing in various angles. As a driving school, we are responsible for education, and we believe that as far as this thing is involved, we should do everything possible to make sure that we have it part of our curriculum, because it is important. It is being used by Gambians, and when accident occurs, it's the same Gambians that have been affected. If we are saying that we are protecting the Gambians against accident on vehicle, and tricycles are also causing accident, it means still now we are not ready. Then we need to bring this. We need to include it. It was not part of our school curriculum. We are training on motorcycling, motorbike and others, but not tricycle. But now that we started having them, and they are increasing in numbers, that we need to have it part of our school curriculum. And but to look at it at another point, the same thing that the driver need to know on road sign is the same thing that the tricycles driver or the one riding it need to know, because you are using something and carrying more than an individual.
Absolutely. And
you are using the same road that the vehicles are using. And the same road signs that we are seeing on the road is the same road sign that you are seeing as the one riding the tricycle. So it's a matter of them also understanding the road sign. Because we see this, some of them are put in pressure, and it can is the reason why most of them are causing this small accident. And normally we take it because this is just a small thing. You can enter anywhere. You can just go.
They can
vehicles here. They can maneuver vehicles and so on. But that is very risky still now. They are carrying passengers.
I know we will go into the local language. I think it's also a concern because the people that are also linked at the radio would also want to be part of the conversation. ñu ngi doon wax lu am solo bala ñu rek ñu dugg ci kalamay wolof ak mandika.
Comme ñu ko doon waxee rek mooy comme que tey tub-tub yu ñuy gis ci mbedda bi nekk na ñu nga xamante ne Gambien si ñu ngi ko jëfandikoo kon dafa am solo bu baax a baax ñu consider kaaraange Gambien si Gambien yu nga xamante ne ñoo koy use because nekkul ñun yëpp soo ko usut yow mun na am sa famille dugga si dangaa dem yeneen point yu nga xamante ne am fa taxi dafa jafe waaye da nga leen fay fekka waaye amuloo beneen option foog nga dugga si kon ñoom seen kaaraange lu am solo la si développement ni réew mi mooy si lan comme que amuñ ko si suñ driving school bi pour jàngaleen tricycle waaye gis nañ ne am na solo as far as mun si réew mi war nañ koo mun a inclure si curriculum si jàngale bu nga xamante ne ñu ngi koy jàngale waaye benn fat na laa wax mooy comme road sign yu nekk di am kaaraange yu nekk si yoon bi yu nga xamante ne driver yi war nañ koo toppa the same trend la yuy dawal tuk-tuk bi war a toppa
mandarga yëpp
moom suñ ko waxee road sign
ndax moto bike la wala bicycle
wala doxkati tànga yëpp benn la
these are universal standards
man gëm naa ne su fekkonte ne toppa nañ mandarga yoon bi even ñoo motocycle suñ la jàng waaye comme que mun nga koo dawal mu àndale sa xel màcc na si topp mandarga yoon bi kon problème yu bari dinañ wàññeeku.
loolu am na solo. ñu ne tungu ne du teew ñuy nataal driver yi si seen boppa ñu ngi fii def nañ gëstu réalise nañ ne bokkul directly part of li nga xamante ne moom mooy yéen union boo leen nekk di fii but also yéen a ngi si wàllu commercial drivers and these are now also commercial drivers parce que amoon nañ benn time dañ leen baanoon but léegi ñu ngi uplift li nga xamante ne moom mooy baan bi ñu ngi leen allow ñu ngi eb ay passenger kon therefore they are now into the commercial component and that makes them part of li nga xamante ne moom mooy those that are commercial drivers as a union force lan mooy seen observation ci wàllu tuk-tuk yi nii but also ndax am ngeen mébét pour waxtaan ak ñoom am benn banxaas mooy lu anglais di woo unit bi nga xamante ne dafa responsible pour ñii nii parce que ñaanuñ ko yàlla but su fekkee def nañ benn jee dafa dellu si waat ci askan bi te lu ñoo wax mooy commercial side bi la so therefore war nañ ko mun a bàyyi xel because clearly askan bi last week bu ñu fi defee seen call ñoom ñoo assé seen njaxtu and then ñu engage leen but later in the day dinañ leen invite si programme si ñuy call pour ñu mun a participer si programme bi but bara boobu noonu lan nga am pour wax.
ok jërëjëf thank you so much Kawsu I think topic bi dafa am solo torop pour ñu waxtaanee ko because tuk-tuk dafa nekk loo xamante ne coow li bëri woon na trop si réew mi mbiri tuk-tuk tuk-tuk nag ñun as transport union I think force bu ñu commencé di ñëw fii transport union ñoo nekk force ñoo xamante ne we advocacy that we shouldn't have tuk-tuks in this country because based on number one bokkul si suñu loi te lu ñu war a def si réew mi dafa war a ànd ak suñu loi comme ni lu ñu waxee soo nekkul doomi réew mi waroo am suñ commercial licence te tuk-tuk di same thing la tuk-tuk auto bike la te auto bike bi tey either 2 or 3 wheelers should not do the commercial business in this country much more the passenger transportation so loolu number one la lu tax ñun ñu bañ ko so te bu ñu advocacy ba ñu gis ne government ñu gis ne dëgg ñii lu ñu wax dëgg la war nañoo ban lii but like dem nañ bañ annonce ne dinañ ko ban waaye fekka ñu bari ñoo xamante ne doomi Gambian lañ dañ si invest dugal si seen xaalis te suñ ko baanoon at that time you know maybe something might be happen so xaj na loolu tax ñu bàyyi ñu continuer and number two man gom ma ne tuk-tuk bu dafa waroon a daw si réew mi foro na war nañ koo dawal
ok lu tax loolu
very good number one wax nañ ko fii si loi la
pour lu was
te loo xamante ne
nit ñi ñoo ko defal pour nit yi
but right now those laws they are not amended
absolutely
understand if at all we amend like foro na mun nañ am suñu driving license I agree mun nañoo dawal bajka but right now loo boo xamante ne moo nekk di daw si réew mi moo ne foreigner warta am suñ commercial driving license so why foreigners and also we the transport union we believe that like if tuk-tuks can continue like applying the rules or doing commercial purpose in this country the drivers should be the citizen of this country because wax nañ ko fii youth employment like ñun few months back am nañ tuk-tuk association ñu ñëw si suñu office ñu waxtaan ak ñooñu but ñooñu seen executive member yëpp ay doomi Gambian lañ seen executive yëpp ay doomi Gambian lañ te ñu si bari si executive members ñoo xamante ne baagoo lañ demoon ñu deport leen wala ñu ñëw so the only resource bu ñu am fii nii lañ jël xaalis bi jënd tuk-tuk ñu ne baa ñu def business so façon yooyu noonu war nañoo understand as Gambian because nit koo xamante ne dafa dem baagwee mu like ñaaka alalam bi ñu départ ko mu ñëw Gambia fii bu foog ne fii mooy suma réew waaye aw ma lu may def léegi xaalis bu ndaw laa bàyyi ma jël bii nii dem jënd tuk-tuk bi ñëw dawale ko at least man tam ma mën a am dara loolu we can understand but nga nekk ak Gambians and also sorry ma ñëw and also we understand that fii bari Harding highway bi oto yi ñu ngi daw fii ëpp na te ñu ñëpp xam ne ne tuk-tuk ni mel pour nga gis truck baa ngay ñëw taxi baa ngay dem ñu dajee ngelaw truck bi mu daanal taxi bi fale loolu wama du am de very good
safety features yi ñu ngi fa
but tuk-tuk daf koy happen truck baa ngay ñëw téeméer rek ñu mbaa tuk-tuk mu saaroon fale léegi ana safety bi bu dee dinañ ko bàyyi ñun ñuy recommandé nañ leen utal yoon yoo xamante ne ñooñu foofu la ñu war a nekk understand ñu bàyyi suñu highway yi like bari Harding highway bi ak Banjul Brikama highway understand so like Tangé highway because ñooñu highway la loo xamante ne pour nga like advice drivers pour ñu wàññi tànga foofu noonu daf tey jafe.
regardless of all the road signs still there is no adherence.
very good. so
number bi pour ñu bugg a call 778 7776 778 7776 778 7776 ku bugg a participer ci programme bi mun ngaa call si number boobu 778 7776 ñu bàyyi laan nga
and also da ngaa gis ne am nga suma boosee mu ne like Bakka war a like more than 3 people.
It's not designed for that. Wow.
Very good. I'm not that's you have 8 people.
I'm not the ones that are designed for 6. I'm not nga xamantene so baye xel dafa melni double cabin.
Very good.
Yes.
So da just a double cabin you then they blow up 8 people sir sometimes.
Okay.
That is a fee for can food driver be top driver ni la dey talk. They talk from Kilan. No, instead of some gonna concentrate, then ni la dey def tanga mini. It is not even worth it.
Absolutely.
When my daughter is moving, you are not even concerned. You are sitting like this. In case of anything should happen, no worry about. Because like always the doctor they are feeling. Safety measures like you don't direct. That should never happen within seconds. Don't want to calculate within that seconds. While your concentration look fee. Understand? So concentrated fee, honestly, side living the doing at them. So loolu dafa nekk loo xamante ne batkaay ñun bañ pour ñu nekk fii waaye time bi ni ñu ñoo nekk fii dañu recommandé nañ leen utal tali yoo xamante ne foofu la ñu war a nekk and number 2 you know like foreigners yi dëgg la ñun yëpp ay africain lañ waaye loolu we cannot compromise it.
No, I think that I will not agree because there are Gambians ñu génn biti ñu ngi def yeneen liggéey yi nga xamante ne doomi réew yi war nañ ko mën a def so man I believe ne lu
maybe those countries they are law they don't allow them
man I agree with the laws so moo tax ma ne loi bi la ñu war a seet
bi ñu wax mooy loi bi loi bi la ñu wax ñu wax ne comme ñun as transport lu ñu bëgga wala lii ñu permet bu bëgga wala lii ñu bëgga wala déedéet ñun ñoo réew mi lu mu wax nañ try ñu
we jël 2 calls and then call us and we will come back to the studio hello asalaamaaleykum hello asalaamaaleykum jaama rek foo ñoo koolee baay
maa leen a koolee Serekunda man la Pa Ndiaye
jërëjëf Pa dalal jaama si programme bi
waaw seen programme bi am na njëriñ trop
jéem a ko
because affaire uppu gi ko ngeen a wàññi dëgg bu dee dimbali suuf si waaye dafa am lu si nekk loo xam ne dafa am lu si nekk loo xam ne dugg dëgg man su waxalee nii yaakaar naa fii taaw ñu jox ma pour ma dawal 3 days moo am dañ ma téye li ma bëgg ko dawal foreigner man dama la wax
that is in Freetown
dafa liggéey doom ñibbi
ok
gis nga dëkk bi comme dëkk bi ñii su dara xewee dañoo daw man ak yéen suma foreigner de ak yéen suma de digga ak yéen suma dara waaye ñu seet ñu leen koo jëlee waaye ëllëg tamit dara mën naa doon ko dañoo toog toogee boor yéen seet tànk yi si biti dundum highway dem leen fa ngeen seet right now ak la ñëw ko tigi nga ñëw ci wéeru sukuta ko ñu xool sa sancam They are very aggressive. They are very aggressive. Man against me are very important. Because they are like African lañ. Ay pour ñu jël suuf lay ci bi di ko joxe. Dafa bro dafa lu jafe la. Parce que man travel Afrique avec soxna ñaari dëkk dawal naa ko waaye 3 years passé ko. Ñu nangu suma passeport nangu suma yëpp dafa doon ko fi dawal du na.
dinañ police by next program inshallah, and then whether dinañ fi ñëw dinañ am a pre-interview ak ñoom, but by God's will we will engage the police by next week. ñu jël another caller before ñu dellu si waat si biir studio bi waa control room su fekkee possible na rek dinañ jëlaat beneen caller ñu dellu si waat, but these are important issues yi nga xamante ne the reason lu tax ñu ko asi it's as a result of safety concern. Programme bi li ko tax a jóg it's not about nationality but it's about safety, and therefore it will be so important su fekkee ne xool nañ li nga xamante ne moom mooy di safety components yëpp, and that is why tuk-tuk it's also part of léegi li nga xamante ne moom mooy di available commercial transport for passengers, and therefore we know very well that there is need to discuss about it. Control room su fekkee ne mun naa nekk ñu jël benn call su fekkee su paree ñu dellu si waat, but su fekkee ne jafe na we will come with Dr. Gassama or come to Dr. Gassama si li nga xamante ne moom mooy Mandinka language ci kii about li nga xamante ne moom mooy tuk-tuk bara ñoo tàggatoo. Okay, Dr. Gassama, ntole nga moy nyola. Last week mole wo si okay ka jeko tuk la kuola nga kacha andum comme nga fanya nyim programme mun ya lon ko wolem alla wo si da mu minti wolom ka jeko na ta ni mi ya lon ko lon tanin na la tanko e ke ko mi ya lon ko akumayata andum nga kacha jang jamal finance lon ko nyanta nyin nekela men nyan na nyin nekela woto programme bi nga moy le tuk la kuola nanata ni mi yalon ko lon tuk la tanko la karola nanata tanina bare fana mol mi yalon ko wolle ba kono ari ila tanina bare fana ikatambi ni mol mi yalon ko minul sainteng nga moyle kudo mi yalon ko ntol la kisikisoro manje jibe bare fana nyanta hajiro tulaji bare ni moto bal ining speed le kabori andung speed fana mi yalon ko wolon woni fonyole kana andung sometimes as a fair nole ay silol bula generally janni okay ñu jël kola bobu
allo assalamu
wa alaykum salam jama rek bay fay kolé
ay kolé ba ko def
okay dara jama ci programme bi nga balal ñu rek nga gatal
dama la ñu ma la conseil ci bi moy ko na nga ca driver ko mu ngeen daw ñu ko liggéey di ko yu driver am sa pass bi so ci gëstu bobu dum dafa fekk leneen ay leneen mu ngi xam
okay
comme di ndee xaar bon temps wala yéen la sa dama ngeen daw sax ñun ñu ko ñu ko parce muy gëstu si dafa di jëm
okay
ay pass bi so loolu daf dem na cost bu bëri
loolu mun naa cost lu bari okay indeed so léegi control room teel lañu call si foofu noonu 2 calls is enough because time is not on our side. Dr. Gassama lenga ntol lenga moy ñola anum fanan kam masima borendi wala tuk anum fanan ke ñaatilim ko malaka client no ni client no diamo wala ka passo table yewol mu me lafaje
baraka mbe même folo do wala mbadi wala ñi programme ko mata bag nga silo nga dedamul kama nga dedamul le famuna faala ba nya silo mo jamal ka taje fen sifa jamal beje men yalan ko sim fula bela dol sin nane bela yo dol sim fula bela sin saba yo bi nakacha be ndi menka nyum putuputo masima me yalan ko sin saba bala dol ba fala tuktu bachka akacha ku mata bag folo nyanda mello na wala mu na tanko silo kan molle ay kamen samba anitul fawmen ka samba ila tanko silo kan wala ma tanin frobet ñi mu masima lati mi alon ko be finti kan nan say ñi man tara mu jang say na ngeje kana amam me baake ñu dunta jang bari nga men lu na le me itandi ñi bankol mi alon ko ike famu na fany nay wala ñi siyata ge ila accident ka sial bag in fact wala fon ka siya dina mol mi alon ko e ka silo kuntu pedestrian ha banko dol kan ñim tuk la accident wala siyata momen ka faje wala ka siya dina men ka ta kuntu silo bara sifa man tare na africa kundo ni south east asia ma fa wala ka de la bag india na men alon ko banko ko ton men babala yo nata men je wala sin sabal ba jenna sin saba man ko sin saba ta keno ko sin nane anun ko ni ala tanko a kula melanka ay sula baka karu sin sababe menna men ka borindi nama hakiltu he asma sibo kenon wala nan ko ala tanko atata nata bara dadi le beje ben ko men cross la silo le kenya nyinte ye silo do ko nyadi o fanan kuma da baka nyin tuktuk nyin kamen fo asitanka non silo ka nyami silo mi alon ko ala ko fo si ala ngorodi siata nyin tuktuk ngang amon lonna le mi ren ko niwo silo sifal siata anin tuktuk ko borje ila accident ko siala oto ko silo nyanta telala mi alon ko akala ko fo kana sia ani silo fanan jama lonna le men fona itan wala mu nyanta comme noya men foten ye silo faram ka je ko itol damale itol ni le silo dam itol la taran silo damala aro man sia itol la silo ngadi da nyadi sa ni won nata ye silo tara silo de data fa banda nga silo kere bulel kama sinani fawla ni fam ko ton do fon na sin sama fawla na bula blaje man silo man para kama do ko bidal oto ko nimbe sonna ye borje oto ko kulur jawli nyande taraje ani hakiltu bal nyande taraje pour yin kama si tanka no nyamen ani me ka men fan samba si tanka no nyamen
wakuma yata comme ka fo nyamen drom teli do ko radio do ko jama ni wato le kam nanko bare mbe mi yalon ko wolom the final pitch tala drom ngalon ne ko wato bina jamfala but finally honorable nga tanko jibele nga tane nya jibele nga employment opportunity jibele nga risk factors jibele generally anin kolas fana ye min di muna mi yalon ko wolom ila observation noti nana tane mi yalon ko wolom safety because the most important is safety ko to teel lañu call si suñ bëggé jël call si rek dinañ gëna interrupt bala lañu rek ngeen teel ñu call si because waxtu mu ñu xoj honorable finally what is your observation muna mi la mirar ko ila mirar dati anu fana se mune keno ka jeko bari tuk be bori kanne jandem mi yalon ko wolon luwado binala nse mune keno ka tani nasoni yandi minu ka tuk borendi anu minu ka use.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Baraka Bake Kausu. I think the first point here that we need to understand is for Gambians to trust the young people of this country in the area of these tricyclists, because there is a very small amount of trust that we have for them. That's why we prefer giving these tricyclists to foreigners than to our own brothers. But again, as Noah said, this is our law. As long as there is no amendment yet, this is the law that we are going with, that foreigners are not allowed to operate this. And that's the law, and that's what we will go by. Unless and until there is an amendment of the Motor Traffic Act, we will now consider, okay, of course, there is an advocacy going on to make sure that these things are catered for. But as we speak, this is the law. And this is what we need to understand. So I think the other thing that we need to look at is we need to have a educational aspect of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
because this is, Dr. said, this is a new innovation of transport, and we will embrace it. And all other countries, of course, embracing this. But again, what we also need to look into is to is to make sure that there is an education around this, to make sure that those that are using this, of course the drivers, as Aliu said, they are in thinking about introducing this curriculum into their school, to make sure that people, of course, going through a very professional training to make to be satisfied to be able to use this. Because as we speak, I've not heard of any institution that is professionally training people to use this. And that's very risky.
Yeah, there was one time, but that was not for passenger purposes. That was during the
those are projects.
Yeah, during absolutely. It was, and then that was for the transport of goods. More specifically, the transport of waste.
Yeah,
so I remember
that's not meant
it's not for passenger purposes. So I think there is need for us to put that into.
Yeah, I think this is something that we will need to look into. And the other aspect is, of course, to make sure that we all observe the safety mechanisms that are around us. It's not only for those driving it, even those that are, of course, the passengers. As the other caller said, this is a three-wheel motorcycles. Of course, if the driver is very concentrating, you should allow the driver to stop before you hand over your fare to. But again, the driver is running with speed, and you expect the driver to turn back, collect that $10, and of course, that can be very, very serious incidents.
More often, like the interview said, it's young people that are also involved in making them to overload beyond capacity. What is your take? because these are young people who will tell people ñun 5 la ñun 4 la and now all of you, none of you want to leave.
Yes, that's what I was saying. You see, when we talk about the education here, the education entails everything, every aspect of this. People need to know what is applicable, what is really good, and of course what is bad. As young people, we should be advocates of change. We should be able to make sure that things are done properly. Because as we said, we are the future leaders of tomorrow. Of course, it should start today. But of course, if our behaviors are not definitely speaking volume about how things should be, of course there is a problem. So I think, of course, the other aspect that we also need to emphasize more is the area of the law enforcement. The police, this is a new innovation and it's not in the Motor Traffic Act, as we said.
But compromisable.
Exactly. So I think, exactly. So I think what we need to look into is to make sure that they find anyone that goes outside or in contrary to the laws of this country regarding these transport issues should of course face the penalty to make sure that we are able to control everything.
Enforcement of the law can make us safer and better. Sëñ Alieu, finally naka nga jàngatee ak looy tàggatoo.
foog naa lii jàngat bu rëy la waaye fan na bu gën a am solo moo nekk fu gaay laal mooy xam-xam bi. jàngalewaat nit ñi.
absolument
foog naa lu am solo si lépp looy def soo si ñàkkee xam-xam rek. dafa mel ni ñàkk nga component bu gën a important. tey connect ci koola bi lu mu wax nit di dawal nga nekk di ko oo pour mu jël pass te driving lu gën a am important si driving moo nekk concentration. soo lose concentration si moto sooy dawal moto sax even within a second concentration boo use mun naa tax nga cause accident. waaw ku war a concentrate et lu nga xamante ne tey xoolal tricycle soo ko xoolee ñoom nu mu bindoo sax nga xam ne ngelaw sax tey moto soo koy drive soo égalee weeri 26 la moto bi day gën a stable. su fekkente ne yaa ngi dawal speed fekkam weer baa ngi wàcc. ngelaw buy dugg sax dangaa yëg ne moto bi stableness booy am su fekkee yaa ngi égal weer yi du dee nekk benn.
absolument
waxantuma la lu nga xam ne nag amul benn weer boo xam ne dafa aju si site yi ngelaw dafa duggee.
apart from the windscreen
su passé loolu ngelaw fu nekk la dee duggee loolu pour nga contrôle ko dafa jafe. kon loolu dafa soxla nga am xam-xam nga xam naka nga war a jëflante ak soo ko yoree naka nga war a behavior because behavior dafa important. nit sa jikko bi si loo yoree dafa am important bu baax a baax ni mu war a behavior dafa important so loolu yëpp suñ ko xoolee dafa dellu si waat ne collective responsibility la. government waruñoo toog ba mu commencé di indi problème ñu soog a intervenir foog naa dara su duggee si réew mu nekk lu bees ñoom yu nga xamante ne ñoo jiite réew bi war nañu jël jéego yu am solo ba gis ne xool nañ solution si naka lañ mun a àndee ba lii du lor réew mi because luñ fa nekkalee moo nekk aar réew mi nit ñi ak seen bagage.
absolutely the protection of life and properties is key. Mr. Jabi, finally looy tàggatoo.
yes thank you so much Kawsu jërëjëf kontaan nañ trop pour ñëw si programme bi waaye comme lu ñu wax rek bajkaay suñu naroo wax seen issue bi fii xëy na programme bi du ko mën a conseil waaye also programme bi dafa am solo trop ñu ngay ñax suñu bëggee Gambia ñoo xamante ne ñun la ñuy sponsor programme bi sax dañu mën a am 2 hours loolu dina baax trop because léegi da ngaa dugg si programme bi rek balaa programme bi commence di interest rek time bi jeex tout ñun collective responsibility la du ñun citizen du police du xam nga ñu ko dee dawlee sax xam nga kola bi wax na fii mu ne Sierra Leone xëy naa foofu naa sori na demal Sénégal fii amuloo Sénégal doo doomu Sénégal mbaa da nga am Sénégal la
check moom ay noonu su fekkee ne check la seen bàyyi gi.
so ñun as Gambians ñun as police ñun ñoo war a def suñu liggéey ñaata citizen ñaata foreigner ñoo nekk fii di dawal tuk-tuk fan la ñoo amee driving license ak naka lañ koo amee ñaata foreigner ñoo am tuk-tuk fii almost dañ am compagnie tuk-tuk laa mën a wax naka la ñoo amee loolu noonu fan lañ ko register other Gambians and also kii li ma wax dafa am solo torop man doomi Gambia la fii laa juddoo suma baay mu ngi fii suma papa mu ngi fii suma njaboot yi mu ngi fii yow ma bëgg ma réelal suma boppa fii nii at the end of the day ma ñëw wër sa la $2,000 yi or $1,000 man du ma am $500 sax ma yóbbu kër du ma ko def so kan moo ko war a defal ki xamante ne soo amee $300 sax you don't care because ñu bari dañ lay ëppee tuk-tuk lu ñu koy def mooy dina la jëndal tuk-tuk ma jox la fut nga maa wër sa $1,000 yi waaye du ma la fay weer. after $1,000 loo am yaa ko moom.
That's serious.
and every Sunday loo liggéey from morning to evening yaa ko moom.
so
ñaareel benn ñoo war a jël so fa ñu gëm suñu boppa fa ñu gëm suñu ndaw yi honestly government kese du mën a def lii nii yëpp. understand waaye nañ jàppale suñu ndaw yi waaye noo koo jàppale moom laay ki ñu yaa ngi koo tax loo xamante ne non dañoo demal si Brooklyn highway I think autorité léegi-léegi dañu war a def li comme xoolal bi ñu wax léegi-léegi asan autorité demal nga taxaw si Brooklyn highway ngay xool bajkaay li ñu war a di opéré foofu noonu bul wax kenn bul introduce sa bopp just demal nga taxaw rek ngay xool honestly da ngay xam ne bajkaay li ñu war a di dawal te affaire def dem ñoo xamante dañ leen mis yëf yooyu noonu il faut na lañ foog ñu waxante dëgg.
Thank you very much Dr. Gassama. Finally muna bekele la kuma la mongoti bayri wato yen jamfale tak finally muna bekele la kuma la mongoti kam momol kili mi ya lon ko wala nyim programme wol bambu wala front star driving school ti Dr. Gassama
alina hakil tudon nyim sim fula fam sin saba fam ka bori ay hakil to la kanin na masakundala bundal mi yalon ko dayin kunna ngalon ko bela do ko kanne bare si hakil to baga be finti kan nyamin fo nga tawsiti belal do ko muyinti nga silo nga tanka mol tanka silo kan si wala fono.
Thank you very much. To sponsor this program or be part of the sponsors, you can call us on 240-4041 240-4041 or 240-4049 240-4049. Until we come your way next week, drive and ride safe. We thank the technical team for the amazing work well done. Lii la ñu waxtu meyoon jaajëfal technical team bi ku bugg a yokk si programme bi si sponsor si mun nga ñëw oo si 240-4041 wala 240-4049 240-4049 Front Star, the best driving school in the Gambia, the biggest. Thank you very much. Until we come your way next week. Jërëjëf.